Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I'm going to be looking at to cash out in this bull run and get out of the market, hopefully around the peak of the bull run. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. Alright, today I'm going to be covering what I'm going to be looking at, indicators and charts that I'm going to be looking at in this bull cycle here to hopefully cash out near the top of the bull run or be mostly out of the market by the time we get to the peak of the bull run. Now, as you guys know, it is pretty much impossible to guarantee that you're going to be out at the peak of the bull run. The goal is to not cash out at the peak. The goal is to cash out on the way up to the peak of the bull run, but be mostly out by the time the peak hits because you don't want to be left holding the bags when we get the big, huge correction that'll be coming at the peak of the bull run, because it's going to dump really hard at some point, and you want to be mostly out of the market by the time that happens. You guys know it's pretty much impossible to hit the peak of the bull run. Over 90% of people lose money in crypto, so the goal is to not hit the peak of the bull run. The goal is to be cashed out mostly by the peak of the bull run, because you don't want to be 100% necessarily cashed out, in my opinion, in case it continues to go higher, because you just can't predict exactly when the peak is going to be and what's going to happen. But let's jump into it here. All right, so I'm going to be going over some indicators and what I'm going to be looking at. The first one, and I've covered this on my channel recently, the pi cycle top and bottom indicator for Bitcoin. When these lines touch, as you can see in the past here, every time these lines have touched in the past, it's been a peak of the bull run here. It touched here at the peak, touched here at the peak, touched here, we were at the peak, touched here, we were at the first peak of the last bull run. Now, the last bull run we had a double top, so it did not catch the second top of the bull run, but it did catch the first peak. And if you would have been cashed out around here when these lines touched, you would have done fantastic. I was in six figures at this point, and if I would have cashed out, I would have done really well. And yes, we did have a big correction. We did hit another top, but we don't know if that's going to happen or not, so you really got to be careful. Now, like I said, guys, this isn't foolproof. These aren't 100% accurate. But, right now, these lines, if you look, it's very similar to what happened here in the middle of this bear cycle where we had a mini peak, a mini bull run, and then the lines never touched because we never hit a true peak of the bull run, and then they spread apart from each other, and then we went into the main bull run. Well, we did very similar here. Even though we hit a new all-time high, those lines came kind of close together, but not real close, and now they're diverging away from each other. So hopefully they'll come together at some point towards the peak of this upcoming bull run here. And if these indicators get to where they're touching, I'm going to be mostly out of my portfolio by then, and I'm going to be cashing out on the way up in increments. When we hit certain price levels with my coins in my portfolio, I'm going to sell like 10%, 20%, stuff like that. When I get profits, because you don't know when the peak is actually going to be on those coins. So you want to be careful and be mostly out, in my opinion, by the time these lines are touching. But no guarantee of this, guys. So, it's not financial advice at all. I can't predict what the market's going to do. But if you look here, every time this purple line got in the red, that was also a peak of the bull run here. Every time this purple line got in the red. So this is another indicator that we can look at. And if you look here in this mini peak here in the bear cycle, it got up to here, but it didn't get in the red, and then it came back down, and then we got in the red, and that was the peak of that cycle here. Same thing's happening here. We did not get in the red, so hopefully this was not the peak, and we're coming back down. And then once we get back up and touch the red here, it's probably potentially going to be the peak of this bull run. So this is one indicator that we could look at as just an indicator. It's not a foolproof method, so keep that in mind. Another thing is the Bitcoin rainbow chart here. This is kind of charted as the curve of the bull run here. As you can see, we got in the dark red back here in 2017. That was the peak of that bull run. The peak of the last bull run, we got into the red. So maybe in this bull run, we only get into the orange or dark orange. So this is another thing we want to be looking at here, potentially to be out by the yellow top, maybe the top of the yellow or the orange, because that's going to put us, the yellow is going to put us at, like $100,000 to $120,000 Bitcoin next year. The orange is going to put us, between $130 and $160,000 Bitcoin next year. So there's not a true indicator when the top is going to be, but it can kind of give you an indication of where you might want to be out. As you can see, though, we're not hitting these red peaks, so we may only get in the yellow and orange this time around. So it's definitely something you want to watch out for. Another indicator to look at here is this Bitcoin MVRV Z-score. When this gets in the red here, this has been a top indicator. Every time this orange line has touched the red, it's been a top indicator. But it's not a guarantee that it's going to get up into the red, but it has in the past when the peak has. So if it gets close, if it gets up into this 6 area here, I would say it's probably time to, think about maybe being mostly out of the market. So this is another indicator that we can look at here. And this chart here, this HODL waves chart, also when this red gets up into, between the 1K and 10K zone here, this is something that, you're probably going to want to think about potentially being out of the market as well. But, this, as you can see, though, it's kind of coming on a downward trend. So it's kind of difficult to say whether it's going to get as high or not. So this is something else that you can kind of keep an eye on as well as a potential indicator here. Hopefully the peak of this bull run, it'll get up into the 1 to 10K zone here, but no guarantee of that as well. So it's just another indicator that you might want to look at for a potential top of the bull run. So these are some things that I'm going to be looking at to be mostly cashed out for the peak of this bull run, guys. And but I'm still going to leave maybe 10 to 25% of my portfolio in, just in case we go higher than these indicators are looking at. And I don't have a crystal ball, guys, so there's no guarantee that these indicators are going to hit the top of the bull run and show you the exact peak. So it's just indicators to kind of give you an idea of, hey, it's maybe time to be out of the market by the time these indicators peak out. So something I'm definitely going to be looking at, something you guys can be looking at. But there's other indicators out there that you guys want to look at and do your own research on. And this is, like I said, not financial advice, guys. This is just what I'm doing personally. I'm not saying you should be out by the time these indicators happen. It's just something that you might want to think about looking at and making decisions for yourself. Don't do something just because I'm doing it, okay? I'm not an expert at all, and I don't want anyone losing money because they're following what I'm doing. Make sure you do your own due diligence and your own research, guys. I'm just sharing with you what my plans are. So keep in mind, I also have node projects that I will continually have tokens generating for me every month throughout this entire cycle. So even if I'm mostly sold, if I sell my main portfolio, I still have nodes that are generating tokens monthly for me. That's why I like the node projects. So I'm still going to have tokens that I can continually sell if it continues to go higher than what these charts are showing. So that's another thing that I can fall back on. I also have ICOs that I invested in, and I'm going to be getting tokens monthly from those, from their vesting schedules as an early investor in those projects. So I'll also have those that'll continually generate tokens for me from those ICOs and IDOs that I invested in early on. And we invest in those through my Discord if you're interested in that. So those are other things that I'm going to be getting tokens monthly for, that I'm going to get throughout this cycle, and some of them even beyond this cycle that I'll still get tokens for that I can sell all the way to the peak of the bull run. I'm going to continue to sell those monthly as we get into this cycle all the way to the top, and partially even on the way down on some of those as well. So that's another thing that I have to fall back on. So even if I've sold my entire main portfolio, I still have those nodes and ICO vesting schedules that I'm going to get tokens monthly on. So that's another benefit of those. And if you guys are interested in any node projects, I do have some another good one coming up here in about a week. This one does have a great team that's fully doxed and some great investors and partners that they have. So I will be covering that on on my channel here coming up in the next week or so. And those nodes are pretty affordable. They start out at $700, and they have a really good schedule with the vesting on those. So they'll likely pay for themselves really quickly if you get in on the first tier. So I will be sharing that on my channel here in the upcoming week if you're interested in that. And I know some of the node projects out there have turned out to be potential scams, so I'm only going to cover the ones on my channel going forward that have great partnerships and a docs team for you guys, so I know they're safe to invest in, and I know the people who are working with this project, and I do trust them. So it's another good one that'll be coming up here if you're interested in getting in those. So I will be sharing that node project here in the next week if that's something you're interested in. So this is my strategy going forward for the upcoming bull run here. Hopefully we get that bull run. It all depends on what happens with the markets and the cycles, but potentially in the past, around the end of this year after the halving is when we start taking off into a bull run. So hopefully that is what happens here in the future. And also, guys, if you're interested in doing any kind of trading, you guys can join my Telegram. It's absolutely free, and we have a great community in there. And I've got a new some trading partners in there that are going to teach people how to do profitable trading in there for free. You guys can use their platform. You can sign up for them. I'll leave the link for them in the description below. It's CoinW. They're partnered with me, and they're going to be teaching people how to trade in my Telegram and Discord if you guys are interested in that. And they have some really good traders in there with a really excellent success rate. So if you guys are interested in learning how to trade crypto, they're going to be working with you guys in Telegram and in the Discord on how to do that. So you guys can watch out for them and sign up for free with the link in the description below. If you guys are interested in that, some people really want to get into trading and learn how to do that. So I'm offering that as well to my community if that's something you're interested in. But that's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And we'll see you on the next video.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me.